Title 3. Penalties. Chapter 1. Penalties in general. Article 21. Penalties that may be imposed. No felony shall be punishable by any penalty not prescribed by law prior to its commission. Article 22. Retroactive effect of penal laws. Penal laws shall have a retroactive effect insofar as they favor the persons guilty of a felony, who is not a habitual criminal, as this term is defined in Rule 5 of Article 62 of this Code, although at the time of the publication of such laws a final sentence has been pronounced and the convict is serving the same. Article 23. Effect of pardon by the offended party. A pardon of the offended party does not extinguish criminal action except as provided in Article 344 of this Code, but civil liability with regard to the interest of the injured party is extinguished by his express waiver. Article 24. Measures of prevention or safety which are nor considered penalties. The following shall not be considered as penalties. 1. The arrest and temporary detention of accused persons, as well as their detention by reason of insanity or imbecility, or illness requiring their confinement in a hospital. 2. The commitment of a minor to any of the institutions mentioned in Article 80 and for the purposes specified therein. 3. Suspension from the employment of public office during the trial or in order to institute proceedings. 4. Fines and other corrective measures which, in the exercise of their administrative disciplinary powers, superior officials may impose upon their subordinates. 5. Deprivation of rights and the reparations which the civil laws may establish in penal form. Chapter 2. Classification of penalties. Article 25. Penalties which may be imposed. The penalties which may be imposed according to this Code, and their different classes, are those included in the following. Scale. Principal penalties. Capital punishment. Death. Afflictive penalties. Reclusion perpetua. Reclusion temporal. Perpetual or temporary absolute disqualification. Perpetual or temporary special disqualification. Prison mayor. Correctional penalties. Prison correctional. Arresto mayor. Suspension. Destero. Light penalties. Arresto menor. Public censure. Penalties common to the three preceding classes. Fine, and bond to keep the peace. Accessory penalties. Perpetual or temporary absolute disqualification. Perpetual or temporary special disqualification. Suspension from public office, the right to vote and be voted for, the profession or calling. Civil interdiction. Indemnification. Forfeiture or confiscation of instruments and proceeds of the offense. Payment of costs. Article 26. When afflictive, correctional, or light penalty. A fine, whether imposed as a single or as an alternative penalty, shall be considered an afflictive penalty, if it exceeds 6,000 pesos, a correctional penalty, if it does not exceed 6,000 pesos but is not less than 200 pesos, and a light penalty if it less than 200 pesos. Title 3.